Hawks fans, it is the month of June. The NBA Finals have started. You have the Indiana Pacers versus the OKC Thunder. You also have the draft coming up in 24 days. And yet we are still getting trade rumors and trade possibilities and trade whatevers coming up often. So, of course, the Atlanta Hawks are definitely going to be in the mix of all of this. And I have to tell you, I hate it. I just want to point out that I hate it, but not for the reasons that you think. I'm going to get into what it is that I specifically hate, why I hate it, as well as what in the world is going to how it's going to affect the Atlanta Hawks, how things are going to go, how things are going to happen. Of course, we know all of the stuff that we've already gone over, the GM situation, the president of basketball operations situation, whether or not Trae Young wants to stay here. I've also brought up the fact that there's a possible payday coming for Dyson Daniels. And of course, him doing his job is definitely going to bode well for others on the Atlanta Hawks, as well as Dyson Daniels getting in the gym, stretching out, getting fit, getting big, all that stuff. So we've got a lot to talk about, and I am going to dive into it. But before we get into all of that, let's christen the show. Let's go ahead and welcome everybody. What's going on? My name is Walter Pollard, and this is Atlanta Hawks Digest. Now, do not adjust your screens. Yes, my jersey is purple, and it is only because of my favorite sports movie. One of my favorite sports movies. Of course, it is. Of course, The Sixth Man. You know, Marlon Wayans and Kadeem Hardison. Those guys, man. Listen, you see, I got the 24 right here. So of course, you know that is something that, you know, it's telling to the movie. So, of course, if you haven't seen The Sixth Man, you don't know anything about it, you were born on the other side of 2000, definitely go back, do your research, look it up. You'll see why I'm wearing the jersey, why I like it, all that jazz. But anywho, we've got to get into what's been going down with the Atlanta Hawks, how things have been going. Of course, we still got trade rumors coming in and out the wazoo. I'm going to dive into one of the more recent trade rumors that I've come across, but I'm also going to get into why I hate it. I don't hate the initial trade. I don't hate how it can affect the Atlanta Hawks, but I just hate it. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm on a soapbox today. I'm just going to tell you right now, I am on a soapbox. I'm going to get into it just a tad bit later. But for now, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I got a graphic here, and it says that the Atlanta could be facilitators this summer in the trade market due to their financial flexibility, depending on if the team brings back Caris LeVert, Clint Capela, or Larry Nance. And that isn't the half of it. I mean, of course, we know that there are expiring contracts for a number of these guys that are on the Atlanta Hawks right now. Of course, we brought in folks like Caris LeVert, like George Niang. You know, we brought Terrence Mann. We brought those guys in at the end of the trade deadline. And yes, we all know that this past trade deadline, the Atlanta Hawks were pursuing Kevin Durant. We were actually heavily pursuing Kevin Durant. Unfortunately, we didn't get Kevin Durant. He did not come to Atlanta. So, of course, that deal fell through. And, of course, I don't know if that was the deciding factor as to why our then general manager, Landry Fields, had been released or let go. I don't think that that's the nail in the coffin. I don't believe that that's the reason why they got rid of him. But I do understand that had he landed that big fish, had he got him in, it would have been great. So with all of that, we understand, you know, that going into the summer that there are a lot of things that the Atlanta Hawks have to do. And be that they're they're facilitators in this year's draft, not this year's draft, I'm sorry, but in the free agency market and things of that such, we do understand that the Atlanta Hawks, they are major players. Now, due to the NBA CBA, or collective bargaining agreement, for those of you who might not know what that means, and different apron rules. Of course, there are 3 different aprons. I'm not going to explain it. You go look it up, chat GPT it, whatever. You'll get what I'm saying. But due to the fact that there's a new CBA and the different aprons, you're going to see more 3-team trades. You're going to see more teams connecting with each other. You're going to see more teams like the Atlanta Hawks joining in on massive trades trades, massive trade possibilities, guys who could be headed somewhere to possibly win a championship now. You dig what I'm saying? The Atlanta Hawks could possibly join in on that, and they could possibly either get picks, they could either get help, either on the bench or other trade bait. You dig what I'm saying? So due to that, we know that there are definitely going to be a lot of different trade scenarios and things of that such. Before I go any further, because I know that I normally try to get this in, but I definitely want to thank all of you guys for choosing us, choosing the Atlanta Hawks Digest, viewing our content. We definitely appreciate it. Keep checking us out. Myself, Chris Tipmore, all the folks at Digest Media, we thank you. Definitely keep checking us out. And if you definitely want to, get into some other teams, they got a Mavericks one. We have a Mavericks Digest. We have a Magic's Digest. We have a Hawks Digest, of course. We have a Rockets Digest. We have so many different digests, so just digest it all. You dig what I'm saying? But anywho, let me get back to my subject. So there are going to be some trades and 3-team trades, of course, due to the new apron and things of that such and all the different levels and stuff. So you can expect that coming in the near future. So, of course, we have a trade scenario, and of course this is in no way, shape, or form a legit stamp on it, but this is something that could possibly happen. The Atlanta Hawks could get Dante DiVincenzo and Royce O'Neal in a 3-team trade with the Suns and the Timberwolves. The Suns will receive Julius Randle, Mike Conley Jr., and a 2028 first-round draft pick swap with the Timberwolves. And the Timberwolves, they would receive Kevin Durant and a 2027 second-round pick from Atlanta via Cleveland and a 2031 second-round pick from Atlanta. So we know that, again, like I don't have to point it out anymore. Of course, we know that these aprons are coming in, but this is where I hate. You dig what I'm saying? And I can't stand it because I feel as though, and I've spoken to my man Chris about it, and I've vented to some of the guys over at Digest Media, and I feel as though that we are in this point now where it's almost like there is a generation of basketball that just doesn't want to let go. And I mean, and being a former athlete, you dig what I'm saying? Yes, I only made it to Division II college basketball, but nonetheless, I mean, not basketball, but football. You know what I'm saying? So I know what it's like to tear away from something that you love. I love the game of football, and it was tough for me to let it go. But sometimes you got to know when is when. And a lot of these players that I'm seeing now, they want to, get with another team in order to possibly win a championship. And yes, you might find some situations where some would say, well, I want to help someone else get a championship, or I want to help someone else get a championship. And that could be true. You know what I'm saying? But let me, where is it at? I think I lost it. I might have lost it, but nonetheless, I had a slide that showed that Kevin Durant would possibly be headed to the Timberwolves to assist Anthony Edwards in getting a championship. All right, 2 years straight, Anthony Edwards has gone to the Western Conference Finals, and he hadn't won it. You dig what I'm saying? And so to give this guy some help, it seems as if it would only make sense that KD head to the Timberwolves. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it would be interesting to see if KD could possibly, join up with somebody that stared him down walking down. I mean, just look at this guy and how he was able to just rip him a new one. But I say that to say this. A lot of the older players, I do feel as though it is time for them to just hang it up. Okay? I think KD might have some stuff left in the tank. That's fine. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he could possibly have a lot left in the tank. He might have another 4 or 5 years left in him. We could even go so far as Steph Curry, which is I love, and I don't want to see him go. But also, too, with injuries and things of that such, he might leave. It might be time for him to go. But my point is that I've seen all of these guys, and I want the younger guys to get their just due. I feel as though a lot of teams waste a lot of resources, picks, just things that they invest in their team. They spend it on these older guys, hoping that we can win now. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a big name in the NBA right now that he might be headed to different places. As a matter of fact, I just heard that he and the Rockets are excited about getting a deal done, and possibly he could be headed to Toronto. But nonetheless, they're bringing in Giannis Antetokounmpo, whatever team that they're bringing him in for. They want him to win now. KD, if he were to go to the Timberwolves, they want him to win now. If the Atlanta Hawks brought somebody in that was a big name, they want to win now. But I feel as though, no, not so much. I appreciate teams that build, teams that develop their players, teams that can organically develop a basketball team or a championship basketball team. No, that doesn't happen often, but that is something that I do appreciate. I don't like the ring chase. I don't like guys chasing rings. KD, I wouldn't necessarily count as though he's ring chasing because he already has 2 of them. But then again, other guys like LeBron James, of course, he has a ring, but I think he's chasing that 6th one so that he can be in the upper echelon or the Mount Rushmore of the greats or GOATs. So that's my soapbox. I just feel as though it is time for a lot of the other guys to end it and just go home. But I brought up Donte DiVincenzo also too because I feel as though he would be a good addition to the Atlanta Hawks. I feel as though Donte DiVincenzo would add some depth to the bench. I feel as though him playing on 4 different teams in 4 years doesn't show that he is someone that, isn't good enough to stay on a team, but more so he adds so much value to so many different teams so quickly. I feel as though him coming to the Atlanta Hawks would make the most sense. Him coming to the Atlanta Hawks would give us an opportunity to possibly get to a playoff. Him coming to the Atlanta Hawks would give some rest to a lot of the guys that are already playing, like a Dyson Daniels, like a Risacher. And also, too, Royce O'Neal. Royce O'Neal was also inside of the package, him coming to the Atlanta Hawks with alongside Donte DiVincenzo. And so even with Royce O'Neal, I feel as though Royce O'Neal being a stretch wing guy, being able to knock down the three-pointer, being able to do the spot-up shot. And then also if he is able to create a shot, I think he could possibly do the same. I've watched him with the Suns and how he's able to get open, how he's able to find himself under the basket or available for a pass at the basket. Reminds you of somebody, right? Yes, reminds me specifically of Zaccharie Risacher because he does the exact same thing. And also he knows about spacing. He knows how to get open, how to be open. Nonetheless, I bring all of that up just to say that, one, I like the idea of what the Atlanta Hawks received back in this trade. Again, with all of the new aprons, the CBA collective bargaining agreement, you're going to see a lot of teams joining in on major trades. But I just felt the need to bring up the fact that I just don't like all of these older guys going to these teams and just sucking up all of the resources just to win a championship right now that you probably won't do. And then these teams end up being bankrupt because they took a chance. Ergo, the Suns. You know what I'm saying? They're in a terrible situation where you have KD. He's probably going to end up leaving. You have Booker, but he might end up leaving. You also have someone, I can't think of his name, but Bradley Beal, who has a non-trade clause. So again, it's a new era in basketball in the NBA. There's a new generation coming up. And then there's a generation now that's definitely putting a stamp on themselves. You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You got Jokic. You got Halliburton, or as my wife say, Halibut. You know what I'm saying? So you got all these different players that are making their name now. Let's let them do that, LeBron James. Let's let them do that, KD. Let's let them do that. All right, I'm done. I'm off my soapbox, guys. Listen, Keep checking us out, man. Stick with us throughout the season, man. Next season, because the season's over with. But we got the draft coming up. We've definitely got a lot of free agency. We got a lot of trades coming up. So definitely stick with us as these things unfold. My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest, and I'm out. Peace.